Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Dark, Season 1, Episode 7. It is called Crossroads. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, I'm glad I'm really good with the characters at this point, because we're really getting into sort of territory where we're jumping between 86 and 2019.
Yeah. You have to know who's who by now. I'm glad they held off on that for a while.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on this episode. Again, it was fairly focused. There was nothing that was ever confusing in and of itself. But I do wonder, like, had this been episode 2 or 3, would this have been?
Oh, would have been lost, I think.
Yeah.
In trying to figure, just trying to remember who was who.
Also, this is a really small, nitpicky complaint. It's not even a complaint, really. But I just want to crack a joke that it's starting to feel like the only chocolate anyone eats in 1986 is the Raider bars, because every time they have anything, it's always one of those.
I'm not gonna lie, I really want a Twix right now. I was watching. I was watching this while having like my dinner, and I was like, "Yeah, look, this peppered steak's nice, but damn, I want a Twix."
Oh, steak is nice. Do you know what the worst show for that was, actually? I don't know if you ever watched Everybody's Loved Raymond.
I've seen a bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, his mother and that used to always be making food for the family to eat, and it was just constant, like, big meals, and it was always really elaborate.
It's the Twin Peaks donuts.
Yeah, Twin Peaks donuts, yeah. That one's close to home. Yeah, so first things first, we actually have a new... This person's actually this person as well, reveal. In fact, it's a double reveal, because... So, the kid who also went missing from 2019, who we thought was deaf, or maybe he wasn't though, we maybe just jumped the gun on that. I mean, he's at least deaf in 1 year now, admittedly, given other events. But, so, we see him back in the creepy room, in the kid experiment room with the chair. And then, and we also, at the same time, we see in present day, we see Helge, who's Peter's father, the one with dementia, who we also saw in 1986. He's like, I remember everything, and it's intercutting with the kid touching the chair, and I'm like, oh, is that him? And then when you see him in 1986 during the episode, you clearly see he's got all this scarring on the side of his face that he presumably just got, because he never didn't have that before he got caught, before he got captured. That seems like a new injury, because he's all bloody and all that. I'm like, what did the guy do to him? And then things get really surreal, because on top of all that, in the middle of the episode, we find out that he is also the person working for Noah. He's the one in the green hood.
Yeah.
Which means he technically kidnapped himself.
Don't do that to me. I forgot about that. That didn't. No, yeah, I know. It didn't cross my mind. I was like, oh yeah.
He did though. He kidnapped himself. So him with dementia in like 2019. So for a start, there was two of them in the same time period because he'd grown so old. Yes. Which, by the way, means that we're dealing with a third time period because he did not go back to 86 because by 86 he was already an adult.
Yeah.
So we're going back to, and the end of the episode kind of implies this as well, but we're going back to 1953.
Yes.
So that's where he's went back to. It has to have been, because in 1986, he's like, 40 or something like that. Whatever his age would be.
Give or take, yeah.
Whatever age he was when he got kidnapped. Plus 33. So, yeah, so this is a big thing. This is a big puzzle piece all coming into place. We got all this going on. It's wacky. He doesn't seem very happy that he's having to kill someone, because we see a little shot of him like taking like Mads back, after he's died. So we get that, but certainly, and also at the end we see Noah has got like the tattoos in his back. It's what's on the metal doors with a symbol and.
Do you know what? It occurred to me where I know that symbol from. Like before I got to that, it kind of just, because you see it near the start of the episode, I was like, it's a religious symbol from Christianity. At least that's where I'm familiar with it from. Maybe they co-opted it from somewhere. And it's the symbol of the Holy Trinity. And it's the idea of the three parts being one whole. And I think that's interesting, given that we have, multiple timelines becoming one whole thing here.
I don't know how to apply that yet. I think I need to see more before I really delve deep into that.
But it's the idea of different parts making up one entity.
Yeah. But how that ties into the spirit, the ghost, and I said the wrong way around. You know what I meant?
Yes, yeah. The spirit is the ghost.
Yeah, but what's the three things you always say? There's this
Father, Son, Spirit.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Depending on how old you are.
All right, okay. What older people say ghost, younger people say Holy
Spirit?
Spirit?
Yeah, it used to be ghost, and then they changed it to Spirit.
No, so it's not just like people get old and they start saying ghost.
No, no, no. It's
Right,
just
okay.
if you're old enough now, you'll have learnt it as ghost.
Okay. You're close to being a ghost yourself, so you start saying ghost. That's what I was kind of hearing that as. So, but no, this was a big thing. I'm like, okay, damn. So we got so. And you know what's funny? What I love about it is it never even occurred to me that I think before that the perpetrator, this person in the hood, was someone that is from present day, but it was when they were younger coming to present day, and then possibly going back as well, and all over the place.
Are you sure the kid is Helge?
He's got all the scarring.
Well, yeah, but then they talk about him having the incident is in '86. His accident, because Charlotte asks Peter, it's like, well, when was
as an
your
adult. I think that's because he's already got the scarring at that point. We see him in '86.
Yeah, you're right. He does.
So that's not what they're referring to. I think the accident they're referring to is maybe what leads to dementia. I mean, not that you need an accident to get dementia, but
yeah, it's not how that works.
I'm aware of that, but what I'm saying is, it seems like there was a big event that maybe took him off the board soon in the next couple of days, because it's like November, whatever the date was. It's a couple of days from now.
12th.
Yeah, because she says, "Oh, that's 2 days from now." 33 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I think it's interesting because obviously he was supposed to have a police interview on the 11th.
So
and we know he doesn't show. And I was, you're going, okay, so why doesn't he turn up? Is it just because he's guilty, so it just doesn't go? But then we learn about this incident on the 12th, and I'm like, okay.
He probably gets caught up in an event of some kind, goes or not missing, but he's entangled in whatever this accident or disaster is going to be. And it makes me wonder.
Maybe it's just in a different time period for the 11th.
Everyone's calling it an accident, and I wonder if it's not an accident so much as it's something that he willingly does because he knows he has to do it.
Yeah.
Because time has... Because, I mean, he knows that he took himself as a kid. And what was interesting, though, is the older dementia version. And I feel bad calling the dementia version, but it's easy to differentiate that way. But when he at the start, when it's intercutting, and he wakes up, we go to the opening titles... on him saying, "Oh, I remember everything," and it's this idea. Now, admittedly, it could just be his dementia. Although we have theorized that maybe his dementia is actually caused by the time traveling and all the back and forth, which seems a bit more plausible. But so I wonder if it's a case of, is it just that, or is there some sort of thing where you kind of forget stuff that makes it easy to sort of discount the time travel elements? The same way that Hannah didn't recognize little Mikkel as.
We kind of hypothesized that earlier on as well, but I don't know. I think this one maybe is more the dementia
possibly. Yeah,
it feels too specific to go. Okay, suddenly I remember everything. I'm at this time now. It's safe for me to know.
Yeah, it's coming back and forth seemingly for him. Like he's forgetting, then he's remembering, and he seems to want to try and fix things because obviously at the end of the episode, Ulrich follows him into the cave and he's getting his ladder. He's been trying to go there for days because everyone keeps stopping him.
We keep telling him he gets found in the forest a few times now.
But I will say this, what I love, because obviously Ulrich with the body last episode, I love that his first instinct is to ask the coroner, hey, is there a way that a body could be preserved for a long time? Like that's he's like, he doesn't jump to something ridiculous. He's like, hey, he doesn't even say who he thinks it is. He actually keeps that to himself all episode, presumably because he thinks people are probably going to think he's crazy, or he'd have to waste time proving it, or maybe. Even though he kind of believes it, he doesn't really believe it. Like, he's not willing to say it out loud.
It's going to be a point where he will say it, and they can prove it in that day and age with a DNA test.
Oh, they absolutely can. I think it's maybe more of a personal thing where he's kind of suspecting it. I mean, more than suspecting it, but he's just not willing to say it out loud because it's so ridiculous. But I love that it feels very realistic that his first response is, can you preserve a body for 33 years? Is that possible? Because he asked, like, how long was he dead? It's like, 10 hours at most, something like that. And he's like, well, could have been preserved for a long time. He's like, well, frozen steak's different from fresh steak. There'd be traces of it. I could tell that. And she's like, how long are we talking? And he's like, 33 years. And she just starts laughing. She's like, no way.
Chance.
Yeah, he ain't looking like that after 33 years. Doesn't matter what you did. But it's the natural question to ask. It's like, can this be preserved? Like, is that what's happened here? Is the body been, kept somewhere for all this time? But then of course he remembers Mikkel saying it's not a matter of how, it's a matter of when, and his mind gets thinking, and he ends up looking into the old cases, and it starts interlinking a lot with the past stuff when he was like arrested and all that, and he starts thinking about all that stuff, and he ends up investigating Helge. He starts getting suspicious of him because he gets the police notebook where he was asked, where were you that night when Mads went missing? How did you drive home? And it's like, well, you didn't take the country road. You took the
state road.
The state road, the more main road, the highway, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And he never really gives a proper answer to that question, but he
kind of goes, oh, well, Dad wanted me to pick something up out that way.
Yeah, it's an obvious kind of excuse to kind of fob him off. But then, in present day, like, Ulrich has even less information. He's just like, what does that mean? So he goes to see him, and he's like, hey, what does this mean? Why not take country road? What does that mean? And all I could hear in my head was country road, take me home to a place where I belong, when he was saying that. But your mind goes places, alright? But, so he's asking Charlotte about it, Charlotte's asking Peter about it, Peter's being kind of like, oh no, I only moved here in 87, like, after the fact, and, he's making up excuses, which sounds like he was separated from, like, Helge was separated from his mother for a while then, from the sounds of it.
It does sound like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to wonder what made him come and live with his father then.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Especially after this incident, like where, whatever's happened has already happened, and he's like, okay, now I'm going to go and live with him.
That is a good question.
was it okay? He needs someone there to take care of him. I'm going to go and do that, or was it more?
But he'd be like what, 13, 14?
Yeah,
it's a weird age to be.
Unless he was just like, I want for company.
Maybe. I mean, that's assuming, of course, that accident is something that puts him in a position where he's unfit to take care of a kid.
Well, that's true.
It could be like a big thing you remember, but not something that has a lasting physical effect, necessarily.
That's a good point.
But so we don't know, they've kept the cards close to the chest on that so far. I mean, we didn't even hear about this accident until this episode, so, we're learning things. So sticking with all the time clues and stuff, before we get to Jonas's trip through Wonderland, so as Jonas is coming back though through the crossing, Charlotte happens to be out by the cabin, and she's in the cave, or not cave, sorry, the cellar, the basement, and obviously I was getting excited. I was like, oh, she's in there while someone's crossing, all the lights are flickering, we're seeing it's all happening. We see it's happening in the 80s as well.
We've seen that they come here when these crossings are important.
So I was interested. I was like, oh, is she going to see something or experience something that gives her something more to go on, beyond what she has already? And it doesn't seemingly do so. Although she does find a bit of wallpaper with the old like kids wallpaper in the corner, which seems to mean more to her than I would have thought it would have.
It does. I mean, the obvious first implication is that room where that happened, where we saw that wallpaper at the start, is this room.
Oh, it has been.
Just kind of clears that up a bit more.
Yeah, I think we suspected that since
we've been saying it, but obviously there's been nothing definitive until this, I don't think. Yeah,
okay. Yeah, so this says that. But I think what's more interesting, though, is when this all happens and we see, maybe in 53, maybe not, it's hard to tell, but we see, middle-aged Helge with Noah in this room. And interestingly, there's no wallpaper and there's no beds. It's actually empty. It doesn't look as like derelict as it does present day, but it does look empty. Like they've completely. He's actually washing the floor.
It's why I might say this is 86. I think this is where, because obviously the floor there looks like where they've killed Mads. And so that's why they're cleaning it, and that's where when the body like around that time. So, because 53 would presumably when the wallpaper's up, right?
Now that we have this information, I think that seems like the best guess, that 53 is when it looks like a bedroom. 86, which, I mean, I think for a long time we were assuming it was 86 though, because remember, Eric was in there and the TV had 80 stuff on it.
That's true.
So it maybe implies that they've just stripped it in the last few days.
Point. Yeah, I hadn't considered that.
Yeah, maybe it implies they've just stripped it right in this past.
Yeah, they're clearing the evidence, so to speak.
Yeah, that could have just happened. But what's interesting about the scene though here at the end is that he kind of like he's very kind of Red Dragon from Manhunter, the way he kind of moves in this. I was feeling he had this very kind of almost surreal serial killer kind of vibe, because he was topless, he had the big tattoo on his back, and he was kind of but he goes up and writes a date in the wall under another date, and it's almost like whatever's just happened here has given him a date. It's told him something. And the two dates are both 53. It's like the 5th and the 9th of November.
The 5th and the 9th. And the 9th is today, as events have been taking place in the episode. That was the 9th.
Oh, you mean not in 53 though? Just you mean in 86
just every 86 and 2019. It was always the 9th because they're the same day, aren't they?
Because I was going to say, how the hell do you know it's that date in 1953? But
well,
you mean
I assume the same reason because
it might be
if 86 and
but 90, no, I was just because it was like, well, how do you know it's that day in 1953? And I'm like, okay, it's because it's that day in 86 and 2019.
Yeah. So that's my assumption anyway, that they're always on the same day.
It possibly is, although. I mean, him writing it down like that maybe implies that it's not that day. It depends what it's telling him.
It depends what the purpose is. Is it like, no, this is today's date and he's writing the event, this has just happened? Is this maybe Is this a proto version of the journal that we see?
Yeah, this could just simply be the first thing that happened in the 5th, and then this is the second time something's happened, it's been the 9th.
Yeah, this is maybe, the start of that journal that we saw. With all the times of the crossings.
So does that say that the time travel shenanigans start in 86? And anything that happens to 53 is people going back and doing things in 53?
Quite possibly.
Because if we're saying this is 86 and this is the start of them keeping like notes and track of what's going on.
It's the start of them tracking it, at least. Not necessarily. I mean, it doesn't mean that it wasn't happening before.
Oh, sure, yeah, okay. Yeah, because obviously the thing in the cave is not necessarily connected to this. But, okay, in the sense of this room and them working things out and them doing experiments, that starts in 86.
Yes,
at least that's...
But using 53, for sure.
Obviously they're paying attention to 53, but if this is the start of their note-taking, then this is maybe the start of the experiments or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. Simple. Easy.
Yeah, we got this.
So, no, all very interesting though. As much as it's very complicated to talk about, it's actually quite interesting trying to piece things together.
It is.
So, obviously, I liked a lot of the stuff with Ulrich though. Him being kind of obsessed. Obviously, Katharina kind of calls him out on Hannah. Just a very awkward moment, but he does end up looking and following old Helge into the cave. So I feel like he might end up traveling as well, and he might follow him to. Maybe this is when we finally see 53. If we're going to see 53 next episode, because the way this one ends, it's like Teen is up for it. It's like
it does, yeah.
53 is going to be a thing as well.
That's very much how it plays.
Which means we're going to have people who were old enough in 86 being kids in 53.
Oh, here we go again.
That'll be fun. I feel like I know their names better now though, so I might not struggle as much.
That's true, but we will have a new slate of people.
We'll have a lot of new actors to take, and just new people as well, because they'll have parents and grandparents.
Yeah, exactly.
We won't have even met yet, in some capacity. So, but no, very very interesting stuff. So Jonas' side of things though, because he's in 86.
Yes.
And we see that he spent the night in some little sort of survey cabin for something. Is what I'm assuming it's for. But he ends up he's walking along, and it's actually Egon who ends up picking him up.
Indeed, it makes sense. Police comes round. I mean, it's raining anyway, like very heavy. So do the nice thing. But then he's like, "Hey, you're a kid. You should be in school."
Yeah. Also, I have to. I mean, admittedly, it kind of ties into him saying he's going to the hospital. But my first response when he said, "Oh, I'm sick," I'm like, "No, that's the wrong play here. Say you're from out of town, so you're not going to this school. You're just visiting for whatever many days."
Yeah, no, I agree.
That'd have been the easier thing. But he did want to get to the hospital, so I mean, okay.
I mean, sick play is alright, because it's like, well, okay, I'm going to the hospital.
That's it. This was after he went to the school, and I do have to admit, I let out a really weird thing. Because obviously we have the whole montage of him getting to the school, and there's the 80s music playing, and he's kind of like observing everything. And he goes in, and Regina's sitting there. And I went, oh god, don't tell me he's Bartosi's father. Don't tell me that. Like, as soon as I saw her, I'm like, oh my god, he's Bartosi's father. And that seems not to be the case, but that's what this show's done to me. As soon as they meet someone from an earlier time period, I'm like, oh god, no. We're getting wacky with the...
It's alright, I've got some my own theories coming up.
Oh god. So, but, he asked... I mean, luckily she's heard of Innes. Is it, yes. Oh, you mean the nurse? Because she might not have. It's not that small a town.
No, it's true.
Everyone might not know everyone. But
I mean, Egon doesn't know him, so
yeah,
he doesn't question that he doesn't know him either.
Yeah, so he's on his way to the hospital. We get the fun little thing where he notices the earphones sticking out of his jacket. And I like it because the show's not done this up until this point, so it was actually kind of nice to have this little funny moment where he's like, they're not earphones.
Do you know the way that what I love about this is because Egon's an older gentleman already. It plays as just
Yeah.
the youth and their technology. I'm out of touch.
Yeah, because you could almost. I mean, he didn't say it, but you could almost see Jonas just going, "Oh yeah, they're just new." and,
Yeah, you
and
can
he would,
see kids and their technology these days.
yeah.
You can just see that on his face. I was like, that's the perfect way to play that.
I almost want someone to catch like Jonas or whoever like taking a photo with a phone. Just like,
Yeah,
what are you doing? Why are you holding that weird rectangle up to the wall or something like that?
yeah.
But he gets to the hospital and he finds he eventually sees Innes and he sees Mikkel, and he's across sitting in the bench, and he's like, okay, this is weird. Obviously, it takes a moment, and he's about to intervene. He's about to walk over and like get him, and the stranger, who also time traveling clearly, which we kind of suspected anyway, but confirmation he is time hopping to his heart's content, stops him and is basically like, hey, if you interfere with this, you like this will do a lot of damage. Like, you will never be born. If you interfere, he will never meet your mother. He will never have you, and you will be erased from existence.
And here comes my theory time.
Oh, okay.
The stranger is Jonas. He was very agitated.
Okay.
You know, he was very animated, going, "No, you can't do this." So you know, he was very protective of himself as well. It would explain, you know, how he got into his house to correct the map. He had a key.
He already had the letter. That's why he's had the
He
letter
already
for
had
so
the letter.
long.
Yeah.
I can see this. Hair colour's changed a bit. I mean, not obviously you can dye your hair, but I'm just pointing out.
Yeah. It's not that different.
But no, I think that's a fine idea. I especially like the part where because he kind of implies that you can change things, you can break this cycle, but there's consequences. He says for every decision made for something, it's against something else. So it's the idea that we're in this cycle where these decisions keep being made the same way to preserve at least what people have, but the idea that there is maybe an alternate path that can be taken.
You can change this, but if you do, then you know consequences are severe. Clearly, it would have a real impact.
But it does raise this question: is that version of events better for most people involved? Yeah, sure, he would be erased from existence, but
and the question is, does anyone ever actually change anything then, or is everything that we ever see already going to happen because everyone's going to keep to the same idea of, no, let's preserve what we've got and not risk things?
Yeah. And I wonder if that's maybe ultimately what a big decision at the end of the season, or maybe even the end of the show, is going to be, is does someone say, no, we have to take the risk and change it? Or is it the sort of thing where it's constantly changing back and forth between two variables?
That's possible.
Yeah. Or maybe not even just two variables. I'm sort of saying that as if the whole timeline is like one big variable. Like, because the way he says it is like, you know, every decision is made, you know, for something is against something else. That's kind of almost get into that every decision splits the universe kind of theory, where the opposite will have a completely different world.
Yeah. Here it's the for taking Mikkel is against you existing. So it's a pretty big consequence of this one.
Yeah, and this one's obvious, at least he understands what the choice is. I think there'll be some other ones where you don't understand what the consequences might be.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the time where someone travels and then comes back and something's different.
Yeah, something's changed because they've affected
but
it.
they don't realise that they've done anything.
And it's bound to happen. Oh no, well, it depends how they handle it. They might realise, they might be the only ones who are aware that something's changed.
That's the typical way of playing it, isn't it?
Yeah. And then did they make the choice of going back and trying to reset things? Not that necessarily can, because we have this constant 33-year difference. It's not like you can just pick a day and go back. It's not got a DeLorean, you know. It's not. You have to go back exactly 33 years.
Yeah.
So, that's actually kind of a neat way of why this whole intercutting between the timelines, and because how sometimes they'll do it on like Legends of Tomorrow, where every timeline we go in the one episode, it all happens to be Christmas, and there's no reason for it to be. And it's just kind of there for a thematic thing. Here, there's actually a reason why intercutting and having time running concurrent in each of the timelines makes sense, because the jump between them when they can travel is always connected at this exact time frame. So it has to be concurrent.
I like that it means there are no do-overs. You make a decision. You can't go back to, I'll go back to the
No.
day before and change it. If you want a do-over, you've got to go back 33 years before that and live through it all to make that change.
You got to go back to 53, live there for 33 years, and then change it. And then you might cause more trouble because now you're living in this new time period and you're an extra factor that wasn't there before. So, yeah, there's a lot of things like that to play with. So it's fun stuff. But, and he actually almost is going to do it again. He's almost going to go and get Mikhail. And then he sees his mother. He sees Hannah walking in, young Hannah, and talking to him. And, I think it really hits him at that point that if he interferes here, that this changes everything. This goes... And yeah, he does also bring up, he's aware now that Martha's his aunt. He brings that up. So, credit to him. I'm curious to see how he handles that when he sees her again.
Yeah, probably not particularly well.
Yeah. I liked all his stuff actually in this. I actually thought this was maybe one of the strongest episodes we've had. I think everything is coming together and clicking in a way where I've still got a lot of questions, but like I understand the board, I understand the playing field a lot better now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Than I think when we started. I know the characters better.
Yeah, I think the first few episodes you're just kind of going, right, who's this, who's that?
Yeah, you're trying to keep track of it all.
It's still good, it's still well made, but it's harder to enjoy because you're paying attention in that way, whereas here you're just going into the mystery rather than figuring out what's what.
People have already told us in the comments that they rewatched it immediately after finishing it, and it played fantastically on a rewatch because you understand all these hints and things play differently because you know.
I can see that. This is something I think I'm going to rewatch before season 2 hits.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because also, I think if I just came into this a year and a half later,
you'd forget who everyone was again.
I would. Yeah, it'd be a nightmare. So no, this will be a rewatch for sure before season 2 hits.
Yeah, we'll have to make time to schedule that in.
Even if it's a gradual thing for a couple of months before, it doesn't have to be. But no. So all that stuff was great, and he comes back home, and you don't see him get anywhere. You do see him get home. Actually, I was going to say, I remember thinking when he comes out the cave, I knew immediately it was in present day because the chair was there. I was like, oh, the chair's there, right? It's 2019, right? We're good.
We got a marker.
You got a marker, but he goes home and he just has like a sort of emotional moment with his mother. Who's still messed up, seems messed up. She's almost surprised that he's being kind of, nice to her. Yeah, he's having like a considerate moment with her, and she's not understanding why entirely. But it does feel like he's going to preserve like the secret because part of me wants something to just belt out. Do you remember what Dad looked like when you first met him? Here's some photos. Here's a photo of Mikhail. Here, compare. But. That's why I think your theory that he becomes the stranger makes a fair amount of sense. That he becomes this person who does try and because it's funny because I almost thought they might make it a challenging thing to get back because we even theorized last episode maybe he ends up in the wrong. Yeah,
but we don't even see. Well, I mean, we see him crawling through, but there's nothing to it really. Not as much as we saw last time.
But he does it so easily that you totally buy that going forward he's going to be someone who does travel if he needs to between time periods without really thinking about it.
Yeah.
So no, it's interesting. So that's it. We still don't know what the fork is in the cave. We don't know if it's because let's say we can go to 53. Is it just as simple as 33 and 66 years ago, or is it 33 years ago and 33 years forward? We're still not sure about that.
Yeah, we don't know about that yet. I think it's interesting both ways because if it is just there's only these 3 time periods that we can go to.
Yeah, or I guess the way to say it would be there's only 2 things you can do. You can go back 33 or 60, assuming you're in present day, right? Assuming you're in the furthest.
But how do you
timeline.
get forward again then?
Oh, you can come back forward, yeah. But what I'm saying is that as time moves forward, like it won't be 86 anymore. It'll be whatever 33 years ago was in 2025. It'll move into the 90s.
Yeah. It'll always be 33 years, definitely.
Yeah. So. That's where we are right now.
I mean, I do wonder though. The idea of the whole 33-year cycle was brought up as part of this the arrangement of the planets and stuff. If that actually has something to do with it, then it is these fixed years. It's this period now. The ability to time travel is open. It's not always moving forward on that basis. I
mean, they are moving forward in the sense that at least while it's open, time is moving forward concurrently. Yeah. Because like you say, if you're on the 9th of November, you go back 33 years, you're on the 9th of November 1986. Yes. So while it's open, at the very least, it is concurrent. Now, admittedly, that was an earlier thing we had that I'd kind of forgotten about, but yeah, so if it's only open for a set period of time every 33 years, then sure, the years will change every time we get to a new version. Next, in 33 years' time, it'll now be 2019 and 86, that'll be two periods we can maybe go back to, potentially. But if it's not that, if it's less to do with that, but that said, we also have the plant in play. The plant's obviously contributing something.
That's true. It has to be, because otherwise...
I don't know if it's contributing to it happening. It could just be a case of the plant led to discovering it and studying it.
Could be, because 53, where we assume we're seeing at least something of, that would be before the plant, right? Because it was relatively new still in 86. It's got to be before that.
Because Egon's talking about how it's changed the town and how things used to be different.
Yeah, so it's got to be relatively new, a decade at most.
And plus, 53, you're getting to kind of in that sort of peak atomic kind of science fiction era. That's when all the science fiction movies were about, like, atomic energy going wrong and monsters and...
Yeah, no one wanted a nuclear station at that point.
No one did. So I think there's a lot of interesting ideas here. Obviously, I think we've bound to have stumbled upon something that's kind of right in amongst all of our theories. But
we've said enough that we've got to be somewhere, right? Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere. But obviously, I don't think we have any idea which one to pick and say, no, it's definitely that one or it's definitely that one.
No.
But I like that they're all possible, and I don't think there's any one that would be disappointing. There's none that would be like, oh no, that feels cheaper. I think, that feels...
like out of those that we've just been talking about, the time travel, I think I prefer the idea of it's 33 forward, 33 back, just because it's more open. As okay, I can go back. I can go back to 53. I can go back more. Or forward. Alternatively, whereas if it's just okay, no, you get 2 back and that's it. It's a lot more limiting.
I do like that there's rules, even if we don't understand them all yet. I like that there's clearly a set defined.
Yeah, we know that there's rules. We're just trying to figure them out.
Yeah. There's a couple of little tidbits. Charlotte, she gets the warrant for the plant finally, and they're searching around. She finds just a couple of things that in the cave specifically that may or may not be super important, but she finds a bit of yellow kind of plastic or something like that that's up against a rock. My first thought was well, the only yellow thing I can think of is Jonas's coat, but it didn't really look like bits that had fallen off a coat.
No, it didn't.
So I'm not sure what that is. And then she finds a red door that looks welded shut, like someone's taking the torch to it and welded it. So not a whole lot to say about those right now. I feel like if I was to guess right now, I would say it's simply that the reason why Peter and Helge and these people have gotten involved in this is because it was discovered through the plant, or at least some people who worked at the plant discovered it and started studying it, and it became a thing.
I'm just fascinated as to what's the plan. What's Noah's plan? Because we learn from Ulrich's mother, that Noah was arguing with Helge.
Yeah, let's assume that's what she's talking about. She says...
it does that. It cuts to Helge while she's talking about it.
It was a priest and a man, and it does cut to Helge, so it is, assume it's him. I can remember, at this time, we didn't know he was the hooded man.
Yeah, this is during that reveal, I think.
Yeah, but she says it's... And she'd forgotten about it until today when she saw the same priest, and he looked the same age. What I like about that...
she saw the man, she didn't see the priest, she saw Helge.
Oh, she saw Helge, sorry. But what I like about that is, because of the body, Ulrich actually has a reason to listen to her now. It's not like he didn't just throw it out immediately as well, I just saw my brother the same age, so I can't really say she's crazy.
You can't just discount
it. So I like that. Also, a really sad little touch that she doesn't even want to know he's dead. She's he's like, oh, would you want to know if he was dead after all this time? And she's like, no, I want to live with the idea that he's out there somewhere.
I think it's particularly sad that Ulrich, she says to Ulrich, oh, you don't give up hope either, you do the same with your son. And obviously, but we know the outcome, that Mads is dead, but Mikkel has a relatively full life.
Well, he's in his 40s, so it's not...
Okay, but he has a life. He lives. He has a family.
It's better than dying as a kid. Getting to
that's why I said relatively.
Yeah. He has a legacy. He has a kid who will continue his life.
Yeah.
What I'm fascinated though is somehow does Ulrich find out that Jonas is his grandson? I can't wait for the awkwardness of some of this.
I know. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Do they end up work? Because if Ulrich ends up traveling here by following Helge, does he like end up finding out some stuff that leads him to Jonas, and then they kind of like work together behind everyone's backs because they're both aware of all the time travel shenanigans? Or does Jonas have to stop him from taking Mikkel back because he'll never be born? Like, does he have to like?
It could be. It's like, I know this is your son, but he has to stay here.
He's also my father.
Yeah, you have to let him go, and you know that he has a life. You know that you know what happens to him. You know who he is.
But it's an interesting thing because it would be like a weird concept for Ulrich to get his head around. But at the same time, typically parents like want to sacrifice themselves for their kids. So can he really take Michael's sacrifice back for Jonas?
Exactly.
But without feeling guilty about it when it's for himself. I just kind of like about this show and kind of some time travel ideas in general is that it poses these weird questions that you could never encounter without time travel.
Yeah, absolutely.
So no, it's
some good stuff.
It is. So no, there you go. That is episode 7 of Dark. We'll be back with episode 8. Shouldn't be too long. We have it scheduled quite soon to get to it. We should be keeping to our one every other day or even quicker schedule and have it done early next week. So look forward to episode 8. Let us know what you think of the episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mail_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You can do that over there. There'll be links to that in the corner of the video and the description below. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching. We'll see you next time. Have you got any vanilla?